morning. I am Professor MATHAVAN, Professor and Coordinator of Economics Programs of Directorate of Distance Education, ANNAMALAI University. In this program, I propose to have a series of lectures on research methodology through the ANNAMALAI University Educational Multimedia Center. You all know the human mind is acquainted with more and more of knowledge. The urge to human knowledge is the basis of research. The human beings, they always want to know, want to learn more and more of informations. That urge to have the more informations leads to the intention for research. So that in common parlance, the research refers to a search for knowledge. According to dictionary meaning, a scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on a specific topic is known as the research. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. So that the research can be defined as the search for knowledge or as any systematic investigation to establish facts. So that the research basically depends upon the search of knowledge, that too through the facts. The term research can be bifurcated into re plus search. Re indicates a new or over again. Search means to test or to probe. Therefore, in combining these two terminologies, the research is nothing but a systematic study and investigation in some field of knowledge. Therefore, research is a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. So that it is a voyage of discovery, because people want to know more and more of informations through or more and more of facts. Therefore, for gaining the additional informations or knowledge, the people used to inquire and search. So that the research is a careful inquiry or examination to discover new information or new relationships and to expand and verify the existing knowledge. Therefore, basically research based on the existing knowledge, and the knowledge, gaining more and more knowledge through or from the existing knowledge is in a systematic manner is nothing but research. So, as far as if you look into the definitions of research, according to Advanced Learners Dictionary of Current English, the meaning of research is given as a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. So, the research is a general or common parlance which can be which will be useful for almost all the branches or all the disciplines. So, for any branch or any discipline of the knowledge of any discipline, a careful investigation to gain more and more knowledge is known as research. Redman and Mori, they define research as a systematized effort to gain new knowledge. But the most important definition was given by Clifford and Woody, which is more the operation oriented. According to Clifford and Woody, research comprises: number 1, defining and redefining problems; 2, formulating hypotheses or suggest solutions; 3, collecting, organizing and evaluating data; 4, making deductions and reaching conclusions; and at last, fifth one is the carefully testing the conclusions to determine whether they fit for the formulating hypothesis. So, this definition given by the Clifford and Woody is nothing but an operational definition which clearly explains the detailed methodology comprises in the research. So, the first one is defining and redefining the problems. So, before starting a research, we have to identify a research problem, for which source or which issues we have to do the research. That is first thing. And for any research, After defining the problem, the second stage we have to formulate a hypothesis. A hypothesis is nothing but a tentative solution or the suggested solution for the stated research problems. So, here the entire research methodology comprises of testing whether the hypothesis they formulated or the suggested solutions for the research problem will be accepted or not. For that, we have to collect the supporting evidences or the empirical evidences through data or informations. Therefore, the next stage is collecting, organizing and evaluating data is the third component, and after analysis of the collected data, making deductions and we have to make the conclusions, that is the fourth component, and the last one is test whether the reached conclusion is determined, the reached conclusion is fit for the formulating hypothesis, whether our suggested solutions will be accepted or not. So, this is a comprehensive or a complete operational definitions for the research given by Clifford UD. And the another one, Schlesinger and Stephenson in the Encyclopedia of Social Science Research define research as the manipulation of things, concepts or symbols for the purpose of generalizing to extend, correct or verify knowledge, whether that knowledge aids in construction of the theory or in the practice of an art. So, here the main purpose or the objective of the doing research, the purpose of research is to extend or correct or verify the knowledge. That is, testing the knowledge is supposed to be the basic objective of research, and that tested knowledge ultimately it can be constructed in the form of a theory. For that, the basic thing is manipulation of things, concepts, symbols. So, analysis of the things, existing knowledge, by analyzing the existing knowledge, the ultimate objective is to verify knowledge or extend or the finding out the new knowledge. This is the broader definition given by Stephenson. Therefore, research is an original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge, making for its advancement. So, the purpose of research is to extend the knowledge from the existing knowledge. Now, what are the basic objectives? First one is to gain familiarity with a phenomena or to achieve new insights into it. So, every individuals or generally human beings, they want to know more and more of additional informations. So, for a particular phenomena, I want to know in detail or clearly about a particular phenomena. If that is the case, the familiarity, to gain the additional familiarity of a phenomena is supposed to be the first objective. And second thing is to portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation or a group. So, here the idea is through research we can assess the nature or the characteristics of, for example, say in physical sciences, what are supposed to be the characteristics of a physical or the chemical component, that is supposed to be a research. In behavioral science, what about the nature and the characteristics of a society or how far it behaves. So, to know accurately the characteristics of the group or individuals is the second objectives. And third one is to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. So, this type of research is nothing but a diagnostic type of research. So, how many times a particular thing has been occurring again and again. So, that is the basic objective. And next one is to test a hypothesis of a causal relationship between the variables. Now, in general the variables, whether it is a chemical, physical or natural or social science, whatever it may be. So, the variables do have the basic the causal relationships, that means one the change in one variable may affect the change in another variable. So that type of causal relationships, how far that happens. So in the formulate in the research process, the hypothesis which deals with the causal relationships is being tested through the research process. Then another thing is, why do we do research? So what are the basic motivational factors which involves in research activities? So there are so many factors which determines the reasons for doing the research. First thing, desire to get a research degree. So for the students at the students level, at post graduation or MPhil or PhD, nowadays for all starting from even UG undergraduate level, for getting a degree, a submission of a project work is the must. So for project work, he has to undergo, or any student has to undergo a small piece of research work at the UG and PG level, and at the PhD level, PhD and above, so they have to submit a comprehensive research PhD thesis. So for getting a degree, the research is very, very important. So not only getting a degree and its consequences, benefits, because only after getting the degree, the students can get employment opportunities and others. So desire to get a research degree is the first motivation factor. Second thing is desire to face the challenges in solving unsolved problems. So some individuals do have some sort of enthusiastic nature. They try to take a challenge in solving certain unsolved problems. So that is another motivation thing. And the next one is desire to get intellectual joy of doing some creative work. When some people, they do something new, they will get some sort of satisfaction. We will get satisfied when we do or when we achieve something new. If we have some type of intellectual joy, if we do have some sort of intellectual joy of doing something creative work, so there also the research is inevitable. Then next thing is desire to be of service to the society. So I have to do something new. For example, some individuals do have, they want to serve for the society. So all the inventions, especially through medical and others, the vaccine and all other things, they are, in those days, their ultimate aim is to serve the society. Okay, so that is also another motivation. Next one is desire to get respectability. If I get a research degree or if I invent something or something new, then the individual will be respectable. That is another thing. And next one is directives of the government, employment conditions, etc. So in educational institutions, the professors do have some set of research based on the directions from the government or employment conditions. Even the government itself, in order to know something new or some policy measures and other things, the government itself appoints the new researchers for doing something new. So that is also one of the another motivation factors. So the motivation factors is basically desire to get a degree, desire to face the challenges in solving unsolved problems, desire to get intellectual joy of doing something new, desire to be service to the society, and to get respectability, and based on the directives of the government. Now, what is the significance of the research or the importance of the research? The importance of the research can be derived from the statement of made by Hudson Maxim, which states that all progress is born of inquiry. Doubt is often better than overconfidence, for it leads to inquiry, and inquiry leads to invention. So from this context of which the significance of research can be well understood. In anything, the progress is born of inquiry. Any progress or improvement, anything can be achieved only by detailed analysis or detailed inquiry. Okay. So for no inquiry means the detailed analysis is nothing but inquiry. So why should we analyze? Why should any individual wants to know more and more? For that, the doubt is the basic cause of anything. So when we have a doubt, we started asking question, and when we have a questions, whenever we are trying to find out the answers for those questions, we used to investigate, and a detailed investigation is nothing but inquiry, and that inquiry leads to the invention of something new, and that invention leads to the progress or development, whatever it may be. So that the research inculcates the scientific inductive thinking, and it promotes the development of logical habits of thinking and organization. So for general thing, even certain things can be achieved in a non-scientific manner, so which may not be in a complete form. So when we have the scientific and inductive thinking in inductive thinking, then the development will lead to a logical the development will be in a logical way. So that research inculcates the scientific and inductive thinking, and it promotes the development of logical habits of thinking. And based on which, why in the significance of research, what is the significance of research, especially in the economic sciences? Because being a coordinator of economics programs, so the significance, I look into the significance of research by considering the economic science. First one is the role of research in several fields of applied economics, whether related to business or to the economy as a whole, has greatly increased in modern times. Because in the recent time, in the government operations, government thing or business, whatever it may be, the situation is very, very complex in nature. Even the government policies, the government aims and to do one dimensions, and the results will be in other way, which is purely contradictory to the expecting thing. And the business nature, unexpected happenings, which they affect, which creates very, very complex nature of the business and government. So that in order to solve the issues related to whether it is either from the government side or the business side, the use of research is very, very important in solving certain operational problems. So the research is an aid. For that, the research is an aid to economic policy. So basically, in any government, the ultimate aim of any economic system, we all know, as the students of economics, we know the basic economic problems lies on certain questions like what to produce, how to produce, when to produce, and for whom to produce. So in order to find out the results for these questions or answers for these questions, research is inevitable, and it becomes an aid for doing these type of economic policies. And second significant thing is the research provides the basis for nearly all government policies in our economic systems. Because the government policies, whether it is education policy or population policy or monetary policy, fiscal policy, and all those policies, the research is important, because the policies are purely based on the measurement of the economic variables. So the measurements of future based on the existing or the past informations. So these type of things, the research is very, very important, and it is considered necessary with regard to the allocation of the natural resources. Then research has its spatial significance in solving various operational and the planning problems of business and industries. So for the day-to-day operations of any business organizations or industries, the research is very, very important. So for that, for these type of operational problems, certain important branches of the research, the other disciplines like operation research, market research, motivation research, and these type of approaches are very, very important for solving these type of operational problems and operational and planning problems of the business. Next, the research is equally important for social scientists in studying those social relationships in seeking answers to various social problems, because the social issues nowadays, they are very social, understanding of the social issues are very important for formulating the policies by the government, even for the business activities. So it is a responsibility as a science is to develop a body of principles that make it possible that understanding and the prediction of the whole range of human interactions. So the basic responsibility is to create knowledge on the understanding and the prediction of the human behavior. That is also very important for the policy regimes. For that, the research is equally important for that. And in addition to that, the significance of research can also be understood from the point of view of the students, because the research may mean the careerism or a way to attain a high position in the social structure. For the students, only after performing the research, they can raise their qualifications and they can move on to the next level in their society. And for the professionals in research methodology, research mean a source of livelihood, because some professionals, their livelihood, their full-time job, their livelihood is based on only performing the different types of research activities. And certain philosophers and thinkers, the research mean the outlet of new ideas and insights. Philosophers and thinkers, their ultimate thing is to generate new ideas and thinkers. To literary men and women, research mean the development of new styles and creative work, especially in the the recent corporate sectors. In the recent corporate sectors, the research literary persons, they in order to find out how to create, how to make how to find out some sort of the creative work. For that, research is always important. Nowadays, people are talking about the hard work versus smart work, which is most important. So how to find out the smart work rather than hard work, this is also the outputs of research. And to analysts and intellectuals, research means the generalizations of new theories. So this is very important. This type of research forms a new type, what is called the pure research. The intellectuals, their ultimate objective or the aim is to formalize new theories. Now, let us move on to the very important issues. The distinction between research methods and research methodology. So, usually in most common parlance, the research methods and the research methodology, they have been used interchangeably, but that is not true. Research methods provide the specific details of how one accomplishes a research task, that is, which comprises of the very different or the individual procedures and methods. It provides specific and detailed procedures of how to initiate, carry out and complete a research task by mainly focusing on how to do it. That is, research methods is nothing but the individual tasks. So, for performing a research, for example, say we have to identify a research problem, that is one task. Formatting a hypothesis, another task. Data collection, another task. Analysis, methods of analyzing the data, another task. So, these individual tasks are nothing but individual research methods. So that the methodology comprises of all the methods, all the methods. So that the research methodology deals with the general approach or guidelines to conduct a research. So research method provides the principles of organizing, planning, designing and conducting the research. But one thing, it cannot tell you in detail how to conduct a specific individual research. That means research methodology gives only a broader outline of the overall research, that is from starting point to the ending point. So in between we do have performing the different individual tasks. That individual tasks are nothing but the research methods. So methodology includes different type of research methods. The research methodology is a way of explaining how a researcher intends to carry out their research. So it is nothing but a simple or a detailed explanation of performing a research. It is a logical, systematic plan to resolve a research problem. And a methodology details a researcher's approach to the research to ensure reliable, valid results and address their aims and objectives. It encompasses what data they are going to collect, where from, as well as how it is being collected and analyzed. So the research methodology gives a detailed information in a logical and a systematic way. So it is nothing but it includes not only the plan and the way of executing all those plans. Okay. Then approaches. In approaches, basically, any research, we all know, research means the search for a new knowledge. So any method which dealt with gaining more and more knowledge is nothing but a research. But the approach, maybe we can classify the approach into two different dimensions: non-scientific method and scientific method. So the first method is non-scientific method. This method, it is nothing but the gaining of knowledge through even senses, experience, intuition, revelation. So some knowledge through physical senses, sight, seeing, touch, whatever it may be, and experience, what we experience over the time, over the period, and intuition. Some individuals do have some sort of intuition. Even we ourselves, we individuals, we ourselves do have some sort of intuition which tells us whether we are doing correct or not, whether we are right or wrong, so whatever it may be. And the revelation, which is revelation is nothing but the intellectuals' ideas. Some intellectuals, without having any experience, things, simply by thinking, they reveal some new facts. So that is revelation. So these methods are nothing but non-scientific methods. So these methods don't have any scientific proof or other things. Next one is scientific method. So this method of gaining knowledge is learning by reasoning. So learning by reasoning means whatever the ideas which we gain, whatever the new ideas or new knowledge which we gain, that can be acquired only through learning. So that it is nothing, so that we gain some sort of additional knowledge from the existing knowledge. So the outcome or the output will add some more knowledge to the knowledge system. That is the basic importance or the importance of the scientific method. Okay. So, but one thing, in scientific method, the validity of knowledge obtained by the scientific method is subject to the testing. In all sciences, research proceeds within the framework of scientific method. So only for the scientific method, we do have certain the proof of the knowledge which have gained through the research and other things. So the scientific method, which can be explained through the familiar statement given by Lustucci. Science may be defined as an objective, logical and systematic method of analysis of phenomena devised to permit the accumulation of reliable knowledge. So the purpose of research is to gain knowledge. So here in this definition, they have created accumulation of reliable knowledge. The knowledge should be true, true knowledge. So accumulation of true knowledge in a systematic manner, through which is supposed to be objective, logical and systematic. So this has two major components. The first it defines science as the method of analysis. Science is a method of analysis. Second, it highlights three major characteristics of scientific method as objective, logical and systematic. Objective, logical and systematic. What is objective? So, basically anything, any information can be of either objectives or subjective. So, subjective means one's own idea, it is comes only from their own perception. It should, any research or the scientific approach should not be objective. It should not be objective and it should be non-biased or prejudiced. Therefore, it is any research should be mostly objective. And the second, it is logical. Logical means the outcome can be derived only from the logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is obtained through only from the abnormal thinking or thinking in a reasonable fashion. So, only the abnormal thinking leads to the logical reasoning. And the third one is systematic. A systematic approach is very important for the scientific method, and a systematic procedure, the researchers should follow a systematic set of procedures through which the knowledge is gained. So, the research methodology, the overall methodology comprises of these three dimensions: objective, logical and systematic. So, the research methodology the research methodology as a course, as a paper, as a subject, it deals with a systematic approach of doing research or the research process in an objective manner through logical reasoning. This is very important. So, the entire research methodology course as a subject or as a paper, it is a method of analysis through objective, logical and in a systematic manner. Now, with this basic thing, so it is only the introductory part. In this lecture, we just we could see the meaning of research, scientific motivation of research, and the methods of whether scientific. What is this scientific research? So, with this, I wish to conclude it. In the forthcoming series of lectures, we will see some more informations, preferably the types of research, the steps in research and so on. Now, thank you very much for your, thank you.